hard hat treasure hunter at 5.
Treason. The very thought of the word sends shivers up and down my spine.
I know. It does to me, too. But who the heck is going to do business with Whitney Enterprises after they find out this kind of charge has been leveled against them?
They said that they weren't going to say anything about it yet.
Not going to say anything? I mean, I own a TV station that's licensed by the government. Who's going to give a license to someone with this kind of charge?
Will you just stop it? I don't want to hear about this anymore.
It's ironic, isn't it? The first Skyler Whitney you married, he turned out to be an imposter and a murderer.
And he was the real spy. He and Ian, I just can't believe it about Ian.
Ian. My old friend. My boyhood chum.
You know, they don't have any proof yet that he was the one that framed you.
They don't have any proof. He's a known spy. Everybody knows that now. In fact, you knew it before I did.
But I didn't believe it, and I certainly didn't want to get involved.
They found those names in my safe, the names that they got out of their phone book. Ian was up there. He came to visit me when I was ill. I don't know, maybe he knew the combination. Maybe he's an expert safecracker.
But why would he want to hurt you?
I don't know. Maybe he needed a scapegoat. He needed somebody to blame.
Well, they have to find out the truth. They have to.
You heard what they said. They're up against a brick wall. You've got to charge somebody.
Skyler, I can't spy on Ian Devereaux.
I know you can't. I don't know. I've been trying to think of some way out of this mess.
We have to think of another way out. I can't do it. Don't you understand? Ian is not going to believe me unless I'm very intimate with him. Don't you understand? If you agree to this, you're going to be sending me right into his arms.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Advanced Formula Crest with Fluorostat. Fighting cavities is the whole idea behind Crest. And by Spick and Span. Spick and Span, it helps your floor show its true colors.
Howdy! What have we here?
A mismatch, Minnie. Look what I found when we moved this monster. See this tile where the table was?
Yeah?
That's the color my floor's supposed to be. Now the rest of the floor looks dingy.
That's because you've got ground-in dirt stuck in these little crevices. Dirt's what makes the color, though.
Don't say I need a new floor.
I say you need spick and span. Look, ground-in dirt can dull your whole floor in its true color. But spick and span cleans deep into crevices and lifts out ground-in dirt.
But is it safe for no-wax floors, too?
When will this generation learn? No floor cleaner's safer than spick and span.
I'm a believer, Minnie.
Don't believe me. Believe the results you see. Spick and span helps your floor show its true colors.
Billy, it's time you headed for the toothbrush.
Daddy, did you use the color?
Mm-hmm. But I didn't have these. A box of old crayons is all I had. And I didn't have a color TV either.
You didn't have lots of things.
Yeah, well, that's right. And here's something else I didn't have. Advanced Formula what?
Crest.
With Fluorostat. And Fluorostat helps keep cavities away even better than the Crest I grew up on. That means you could get even fewer cavities than I did. That's why I want you to brush. Come on, Billy. You got school tomorrow.
Tell me what else you didn't have.
You?
With Advanced Formula Crest, your kids could have even fewer cavities than you did.
Aha! Caught brought you.
So there you are. You have spent the last 2 hours in that room playing with your little choo-choo train. When are you going to be finished? I want to be invited to the launching.
One doesn't launch trains, Camilla.
Well, whatever.
It all takes time. It's much more complicated than it looks.
Even when the trains are only 6 inches long? Oh, pooh. I was looking forward to it tonight as my form of entertainment.
What happened to your friend Spencer?
I told you, Spencer has no desire to fan the old flames. Not this old flame, at least.
Well, you haven't exactly encouraged him, have you? What's happened to the old Camilla, the one who enjoys challenges?
Speaking of Spencer, I hope you like challenges, Ian.
What has Spencer got to do with it?
I never told you about the conversation I last had with Spencer. We chatted about your other diversion.
Raven.
He has some very definite opinions about Miss Alexander. I think you should hear about them sometime.
Oh, I can guess what they are. That she's a scheming, determined young woman. Quite sure she's going to get her hands on his employer's fortune, which was taken away from her in the first place.
Something like that.
Well, she's already told me, Camilla. She's told me how she feels about the whole thing. Quite honestly, I sympathize with her. She's a woman who's lost her husband, a name, and a great deal of money.
And she's determined to get it all back.
You are in a vindictive mood tonight, aren't you, Camilla? That's what happens when you spend too much time alone. Why don't you look for a hobby? What about needlepoint or something? Yes, I wouldn't trust you with a sharp instrument.
I think I will tell you what Spencer said.
What about a pet? A nice, sleek Persian cat with sharp claws. Something you can relate to.
He said, Raven's using you, Ian. Meow.
And you think she is too, huh?
I know it. And Spencer has seen it. He has witnessed her tactics. She dangles your name in front of Skyler Whitney. And he says you're a fool if you think Raven sincerely cares about you. I'm sorry if that hurts you.
You're not sorry in the least, Camilla.
Ian, now wait. I'm only telling you this for your own good. I don't want to hurt you. But I don't want to see Raven hurt you either.
Camilla, it's pointless having this conversation when you're in this kind of mood. For God's sake, find a hobby, find a man, find anything.
What about a nice young director?
Come and get it.
All right, that might pick up the mood a little.
Calvin, that was really a wonderful thing you did today. Getting up in that courtroom and saying all those things that you said about Ted Loomis.
Look, it was nothing so wonderful about it. All I did was tell the truth about that creep. I wish I could have just told the whole truth. Explained what a disgrace he was to his badge.
Well, I know what Dee Dee means. It took a lot of nerve. He was a fellow officer.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are a lot of guys down at headquarters who resent what you did, Calvin.
Did they, Calvin?
Well, actually, believe it or not, by the time I got back down to the squad room, I got nothing but congratulations.
Really?
Yeah, the whole force knows how trigger-happy Loomis was.
Yeah, if they only knew he was also on the take.
Unfortunately, that information was not allowed to be introduced into the evidence.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean that we are going to give up. Anyway, let me finish telling you what I was saying about Damien.
Yeah, what is this about that bartender?
Yeah, well, once he threatened the guy with a lie detector test, he all of a sudden decided to cooperate. He suddenly remembered that Loomis and Bulmer had met in the bar on the very day that Troy shot Loomis.
Well, will that help Troy?
Well, no, the only thing it means is that there's possibility of collusion. I guess after all, it's nothing we can take any farther than that.
Well, I'll never forget that day at the dance studio. I mean, I was so surprised to see Troy there.
Yeah, you didn't know he was supposed to hurt you, did you?
No, and he didn't. He just said something about being unemployed.
Jody, Troy would never do something like that. I know you probably think any sister would say that about her big brother, but it's true.
Calvin, can't we use this evidence somehow?
I'm afraid not, Gavin. I wish there were some way. It certainly has me convinced of the truth.
Unfortunately, it's not enough to convince a jury. Only Eddie Lormer can do that by telling the whole truth.
My name's Sid. Eddie.
All right, Eddie. I'm very anxious to hear what you've got to say.
Come on, Eddie. You've come this far, you may as well go all the way.
More than 400 million Playmobil people have provided kids the world over with good creative fun. Playmobil sets encourage kids 4 and over to use their imaginations for hours of quiet play. Here's an extra reason to introduce your children to Playmobil. This free Indian set worth $8. Mail the end flap from any Playmobil set costing $8 or more with your address and store receipt to the address on the fun guarantee. Playmobil. Your little people will...
Okay. You guys know I was in the importing business once upon a time.
And I know just what you were importing, too, Eddie.
See? See what I mean? These guys are going to try to nail you any way they can.
Chief, Eddie was told he'd have immunity if he talked.
Should have came here with a mouthpiece. What am I doing here anyway? I don't even belong here. What am I doing here?
Don't worry about it. I know about your immunity deal. It's all right with me. Nothing you say goes on the record. Nothing you say goes against you.
You're sure about that, huh?
Come on, Eddie. You promised, remember?
Okay. Anyway, I was in this importing business, and I was importing objects of art from this Republic of Eden. Now, naturally, when you do business with people, once in a while you're expected to do favors. You understand?
I understand.
Okay, so they came to me and they asked me to do them a favor about this Travis kid. See, they were having this big party up there, upstate, whatever. And they had all these guys coming down with horses and tin suits and all that kind of thing. And this Travis kid planned on going to the party. They were afraid that her going there was going to make all kinds of big trouble. So they asked me to see if I could discourage her from going.
Discourage her? How? By having her mugged?
See? There you go again. Listen, we don't have to take this. I don't have to listen to this garbage. You understand?
Oh, come on, Eddie. Just cut that out. Tell it to him like it happened and stop worrying about trying to put things nice.
Good advice, Eddie.
Well, you know, you could be a little nicer too, Chief. I mean, Eddie didn't have to come here. He's trying to help you guys out, so why don't you try a little bit of politeness?
All right, Eddie. I am sorry. Continue. I'll not interrupt you again.
Okay, anyway, I told Troy, who was working for me at the time, to pay this Travis kid a visit and see if he couldn't convince her that going upstate was not too terrific an idea. And that's when I made my mistake. See, I told Joe Bulmer everything that was going down.
Joe Bulmer worked for you?
Well, he didn't do everything he was told to do. He didn't like to do everything he was told to do, and he hated Troy Bannister. The reason he hated Troy was because Troy didn't give him the respect he thought he deserved, you know, that kind of a thing. Anyway, Joe comes to me, and he says, listen, why don't we send a cop to take care of Troy right after he takes care of the Travis kid?
Now, wait a second. What are you talking about? Cop?
Yeah, you heard me. That's right. Joe wanted to send a cop we knew.
You know, the cop named Loomis. You know the one Eddie means.
You telling me you had Loomis on your payroll?
We've both been paying the same bum, Chief. We're not too bright, are we? Anyway, I said definitely no way. So what does Joe do? Joe gets a hold of Loomis, they sit down, they have a little meeting, and Joe tells them everything that's going to go down. Don't you get it?
Don't you see? He knew that it would look like Loomis was doing his job, shooting a mugger.
And the mishap came because Jody Travis didn't get mugged.
That's right. But he shot at Troy Bannister anyway. That's why Troy grabbed the gun, to stop him from shooting twice and getting himself killed.
The kid is innocent, Chief. He had no reason to shoot Loomis except out of self-defense.
Eddie, I want you to make this statement official.
I'm not too sure I like that word.
Now, wait a minute. Don't worry about your immunity. But this statement has got to go public. Everything. That's about the only way we can get this Bannister kid off the hook. Well?
Hey, what's your problem?
Got a cold.
There are dozens of cold medicines. Take a pick, Mac.
My cold's in my chest, too.
Oh, you do have a problem. Try Head and Chest. It's brand new.
Head and chest is different?
Mm-hmm. Different from the leading cold medicine because it helps clear your head and clear your chest.
New Head and Chest clears your head by draining nasal passages so you can breathe easy with no drowsiness. And the difference in Head and Chest is the moisturizing action that loosens and helps get rid of chest congestion.
Hey, Head and Chest works.
Uh-huh. There are dozens of cold medicines, but there's only one named Head and Chest.
New Head and Chest works. Clears your head and clears your chest.
After 4 hours of world-class tennis in 90-degree heat, you're so exhausted you can barely stand up. So it's not surprising that the soap the Women's Tennis Association supplies to its players is Coast Deodorant Soap. Coast is made to revive you, and with its cool, stimulating scent and a thick, creamy lather that feels terrific on your skin, Coast refreshes you and rejuvenates you and picks you up in a way no other soap can. And if Coast can help after 3 sets with players like these, isn't it just what you need after a day with your kids? No tired is too tired for Coast.
Well, hello. Come in.
Thanks.
Let me have your coat. It is turning cold outside, isn't
Yes, well,
it?
winter's just around the corner.
Well, how about a little drink to
No,
warm
no,
you
thanks.
up?
I'm not going to be here long enough to finish it, so...
You will if it's a short one.
No.
Oh, come on, Miles. Join me. I don't like to drink alone.
All right.
You still like good scotch?
Whatever you have is all right.
Well, that's a relief, because I can't afford anything better. So this will have to do.
I guess you still haven't found a job, huh?
Nope. Had a couple of offers, though. One from Monticello General, but you know what I think about big hospitals. And another one from a man in private practice. But I didn't like his looks, and he liked mine a little too much. Now, why couldn't you be more like him?
Well, you'll find one soon. You know, good nurses are not that plentiful.
From what I've been hearing around, you have a vacancy these days.
Yeah, I do. My nurse left. I don't think you'd be the right replacement, though, Tammy.
You know something? I agree with you.
Really?
Yes, I know I applied for the job, but the more I think about it, I don't like the idea. I mean, I'm sure your wife, Nicolette, would
Her
not...
name is Nicole.
Oh, sorry,
Nicole.
Nicole. I'm sure Nicole would be rather suspicious if she found out you hired your old girlfriend to be your nurse. No, I think I like things just the way they are.
Come on, Tammy. No, that's not why I came here tonight.
It isn't?
No. Came here to talk to you about what happened in my office.
Between who? You and me? You and your nurse? Or between you and that cute little patient? What's her name?
Her name is Nora Fulton. She's not really a patient, and she is anything but cute.
Yes, I must say I was a bit surprised. You are usually so smooth, Miles. Why did you have to get so physical with her?
I didn't get physical. You know I wouldn't do something like that. That was a fraud staged by those 2 women. One because of mental imbalance and the other out of sheer vindictiveness.
Well, then why complain to me? I don't know Nora Fulton, and I don't know your nurse.
Because Barbara mentioned your name to my wife.
What for?
Well, as a kind of reference, she told my wife that she should talk to you. My wife wanted to know what she called the truth.
Oh, I see. And so you just came trotting right over to me to make sure I said the right thing.
Tammy, listen to me. I've never lied to my wife about the Claremont. I've confessed my sins. I just don't want to have my sins embellished.
Because you've reformed, right?
It's not a matter of reforming. I don't have to do what I did back then. All those little episodes to make up for a bad marriage. They didn't work anyway.
Oh, that's too bad. We tried so hard, didn't we?
Tammy, listen to me. I'm serious. This is important to me.
You know what I think, Miles? I don't think you've reformed at all. I think you've just gotten more clever.
That's not true.
Oh, yes, it is. You're doing exactly the same thing you always did. Cheating with your wife with every nubile nurse and patient that comes into your office.
All right.
It's the only way you can have a feeling good about yourself.
To come here, I should have realized.
Oh, wait a minute. I didn't say I wouldn't cooperate.
What do you mean?
I mean that I'll be glad to tell Nicolette any lie you want. Come on.
Just left my office right now. His statement's being typed up, getting ready for his signature. Not that he's going to sign it once he sees it in front of him, but...
Terrific news, Chief. I just hope he goes all the way.
I'm sure he will. I think the next thing we ought to do is Get hold of Damien Tyler. Tell him what's happened.
Yeah, you're right. I just can't wait to see the look on his face.
Neither can I. Make sure he calls me as soon as you get a hold of him. I gotta go. Call's in. Talk to you later. Yes, Helen? Good. Send him right in. David.
All right, guy. I'm sorry to barge in. That's important.
Did you talk to your boss in Washington, D.C.?
Yes, I spoke to him. We spoke for almost an hour, and he told me to use my own judgment. I don't mind telling you, I don't really welcome the responsibility.
All right, what's our plan of action?
Well, I still have my doubts about Whitney. I still have the nagging feeling that we are about to put the noose around the neck of the wrong man. But on the chance that I'm wrong, that he may be a menace to the security of this country, we have to do something. Now.
All right, then. Let us do what has to be done.
Suddenly, I'm the best cookie baker, because I've got Jell-O pudding, the cookie maker. It makes my cookies
moister, chewier, yummier than ever.
Just follow the recipe. Add Jell-O instant pudding, the cookie maker, and your homemade oatmeal and chocolate chip cookies will be
moister, chewier, yummier than ever.
I'll bet your family calls you
the best cookie baker.
With Jell-O brand instant pudding, the cookie maker.
Look who's discovered Sanka ground coffee. Bill Boak, expert lager.
You can't hurry a tough job like this. So I look forward to settling back with a pot of hot, freshly brewed coffee, especially since I've discovered Sanka ground coffee. Smells great. Real good. And it's 97% caffeine free. For me, that works.
Sanka brand ground decaffeinated coffee. Discover it.
On Ryan's Hope.
You shouldn't be going out alone.
I have to. Let me be. Joe, please. I'm on my own.
Ryan's Hope. Weekdays.
You know, baby, I feel like this house is haunted. I feel like Jefferson Brown is hanging around here.
Thanks. Nice dreams tonight.
No, really, I feel like somehow he found out about all this. He found out that I'm going to marry the real Skyler Whitney. He's so angry and so resentful that he came back here and he took those papers and planted them in the safe. You know what I mean?
That was no ghost, right? That was Ian. You know, he's in love with you.
I know.
Or at least he thinks that he is. I mean, I remember Ian as a kid. He was always very romantic. He fancied himself the big Romeo character.
He sort of seems like that.
Although, of course, there were other sides to him. For example, I remember one time we were walking down a path when we were kids. And there was a squirrel in the road. I don't know, maybe he got hit by a car or was ill or something. And Ian picked up a rock and crushed it.
Well, that seems to be the best thing to do.
He did it without breaking stride or without even interrupting his sentence.
Strange.
Yeah. He's not a simple man to know. Not at all. He's relentless. He tries to get what he wants.
I want you. I don't want him.
I know, baby. We seem to have made our plans at the worst possible time. Oh, damn. I sent all the servants. All right, I get it.
No. Okay.
Oh, no!
It's you.
Mr. Whitney, I have tried to delay what seems to have been inevitable. Believe me, in my heart of hearts, I'm not at all satisfied about your guilt in this.
Well, that's because he's not guilty. Why can't you people see that?
We saw the evidence with our own eyes. I wouldn't be doing my job if I ignored it.
Is that why you're here, Chief, to do your job?
That is why I'm here. Skyler Whitney, I have a warrant for your arrest.
No! I'm not going to let you arrest him.
You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have your attorney present.
That's the only recourse.
Well, we seem to have no recourse, Mr. Whitney, much as we suspect that you may well have been framed by Ian Devereaux.
Well, if you suspect that, then why don't you give him a chance to prove it? Why don't you give him some time?
We think there's just one person in a position to prove Mr. Whitney's innocence, Miss Alexander.
I mean, me.
I gave you the choice once, and you turned me down.
Her? What you're asking her to do is reprehensible. You can't very well ask her to go spy on some other man. I won't have it.
All right. I'll do it.
Are you saying you're willing to cooperate, Miss Alexander?
Yes.
You're not just saying that to postpone the inevitable?
Raven, you don't know what you're saying.
I want to save your life. All right, I'll be your damn spy. You're catching cold.
My head's stuffed up and I'm achy.
I bet you've got a fever. There must be something to take care of all of those symptoms.
Introducing new Children's Co-Tylenol cold tablets. It's the only chewable tablet that relieves all the big symptoms of your little one's cold without aspirin.
I did it.
So did Children's Co-Tylenol.
New Children's Co-Tylenol chewable tablets relieves all the big symptoms of your little one's cold.
Around the world, there's just one thing we do. Just one, senor.
We make the world's favorite chicken. We make it especially for you.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right. No other fried chicken is so right.
Prepared by hand. What a lovely sight.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
Tonight, find out how Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer got that nose that glows in a holiday special for the whole family, Rudolph's Shiny New Year. Then catch the action when the surging New York Jets face the tough Detroit Lions on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Tonight on ABC's World News Tonight, co-correctional controversy. Is it productive to jail men and women together where prisoners can look but not touch?
When you totally remove a normal sexual stimuli from someone, you have more problems.
ABC News, uniquely qualified to bring you the world.
Sergio Valente went with the flow of water to create a new natural wonder. Sergio Valente Stonewash Jeans, the natural selection.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News, is there a killer stalking women in New Jersey? 2 women found dead in the past 2 weeks. Police are checking to...
Never lost its personal touch.
We make Cheerios low in sugar. Kids make Cheerios #1. Toasty oat goodness is what we've got. 1 gram of sugar, not a lot.
Low sugar's important to me, but Cheerios' famous toasted oat taste.
That's why I like it.
It's been part of our good breakfast for years.
We make Cheerios low in sugar. Kids make Cheerios #1.
We did it!
Watch how the magic of Kodomatic instant cameras and film can turn one Eastern Airlines ticket into 2. First, buy a Kodomatic camera, or a Champ and instant film, or just instant film. Then choose one of Eastern's magical destinations. Buy 1 round-trip ticket at full fare, and Kodak will give you another ticket free. No one else matches this magic, so don't walk. Fly to your photo dealers for details. Let's go.
Acapulco's.
Something beautiful is happening now. Enhanced shampoo and conditioner are working with you now, as the green line illustrates. Working when you style your hair. Enhance works now when you curl or comb. Enhance works now when you blow dry and brush with synchronized moisturizers that enhance the softness, enhance the shine, so you do more than just style.
And something beautiful happens.
Enhance works when you style.